Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
On a beautiful Tuesday night, crowd filing in the Yankee Stadium because it is time for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. Tonight, a great rivalry. It's the New York Yankees against the Boston Red Sox in the first of three from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with John Flaherty and Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. Yankees had yesterday off, and they enjoyed it because they were 6-4 on the road trip. You get 10 road games off your schedule, and you're above 500 on the trip. You've had a good trip, and a big reason why was Mark Teixeira.
Well, Mark Teixeira has been a big reason why the Yankees have had success all year. But on this road trip, actually 5 home runs in the last 4 games. It started in Texas on a double home run, and this game, if you're a fan, throw it back in, doesn't matter. He'll hit a few more. Went to Chicago, hit a couple more. Mark Teixeira, comeback player of the year, possibly the MVP of the Yankees to this point so far.
He has been absolutely amazing with that home run on Sunday, a deep drive to right center field. Take a look at what he did and A-Rod. So there's your middle of the lineup. And then at the bottom of the lineup, the rejuvenated Didi Gregorius, 438 in the 10 games. He drove in 12, and he scored 8. Let's take a look now at the pitching matchup for tonight's game. Brought to you by People's United Bank N.A. See what know-how can do for you. We'll see the Major League debut of Henry Owens, highly touted left-hander for the Red Sox. And for the Yankees, it's Masahiro Tanaka trying to bounce back from a little bit of a shaky outing last time.
Yeah, it wasn't his best outing the last time out, but it wasn't terrible either. You have to think back to the 3 starts before Texas where he was so good. Gave up 9 hits in this game, through 6 innings, gave up 4 earned runs. The one stat that you don't like from this Texas game, 3 walks, which is really not like Tanaka. Did not have a great start. It wasn't terrible, but looking to rebound tonight in the Bronx.
The beginning of a homestand for the Yankees, 3 against the Red Sox, and then 3 against the Blue Jays. Didi Gregorius could play a big role. Boy, has he been great for the Yankees. Meredith comes back and talks about it next on Yes.
Late, he's looked good offensively and defensively, but if you look at his progression from the beginning of the season, you can really tell there are some dramatic differences. Batting average, one of them that definitely stands out, on base percentage as well. I had the opportunity to catch up with manager Joe Girardi earlier today. I asked him what stood out about Didi Gregorius' game over the last month.
Just how consistent he has been offensively. He's really swung the bat pretty well against left-handers too. He's done a really good job. So, each month I said has gotten better and better. And he's off to a pretty good start in August as well, and I hope it's better than July.
Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. Michael Kay, Paul O'Neill, and John Flaherty coming your way next with lineups, first pitch, baseball, right here on Yes.
radiation centers in New York. When it comes to fighting cancer, precision is everything. Call 844-2-RADIATION-DOC. And by Remax, nobody sells more real estate than Remax. The Yankees begin a homestand after 10 straight games on the road. That tied their longest road trip of the year, and they came off that road trip 6-4. And any way you look at it, they're in pretty good shape. They have a 6-game lead in the loss column over the Orioles and 7 games over the Toronto Blue Jays. Noah Galloway is going to throw out the first pitch.
I'm his biggest fan.
He was on Dancing with the Stars. And Noah gets a big hand from the Yankees and the crowd and throws a strike. You were a fan of his on Dancing with the Stars,
Big
right?
fan, absolutely. My wife and daughter, we watched the show. Awesome.
And he raises money for groups like Operation Enduring Warrior. All right, so the Yankees have taken the field. Tanaka will take his warm-ups, and let's take a look now at tonight's Red Sox starting lineup presented by your local Acura dealer. The All-Star second baseman Brock Holt leads off. Batting second, the shortstop Xander Bogaerts. David Ortiz, the DH, will hit third. Cleaning up left fielder Hanley Ramirez. Pablo Sandoval, the third baseman, bats fifth. Batting sixth, playing first base Mike Napoli. Alejandro De Aza in right field will bat seventh. Batting eighth and catching, listed this offseason as the #1 catching prospect in baseball. He will bat eighth. That's Blake Swihart. And Jackie Bradley Jr. in center field is going to bat ninth.
That lineup for the Boston Red Sox going to go to work against Masahiro Tanaka, finishing up his warm-up tosses. We'll look at his numbers on the year. It'll be his 15th start, 7-4, the ERA 3.80. We'll look at our pitcher scouting report, brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers, and kind of coming off a flat start. 6 innings, 9 hits, 4 earned runs. He walked 3 in that game. An extended work. He's thrown over 100 pitches his last 4 outings. The 14 games before that, he never hit that 100-pitch plateau. And these are the dog days in August, and this is going to be the first career start for Tanaka during the month of August.
I like that.
Now, last year, Tanaka was on the DL during August and came back for a couple of starts at the end of the season. Let's take a look at the defense behind him, presented by Geico. In the outfield, you've got Chris Young in left field as Brett Gardner gets a day off against a lefty. Jacoby Ellsbury in center, and Carlos Beltran is over and right. Infield, Headley, Gregorius, Ryan, and Teixeira. That's third and first. Brian McCann's behind the plate, and on the mound, as we mentioned and detailed, it's Masahiro Tanaka. 3 games against the Red Sox, and the Red Sox have had, simply put, a very disappointing season as they come into this August series against their longtime rivals in last place in the American League East at 47-59. Brock Holt hitting .284 with 2 homers and 26 ribbies, and he did make the All-Star team for the Red Sox. He's ready. Tanaka is ready. And let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch is a strike. We're underway. Mike Everett is the home plate umpire. Kerwin Danley at first. Rob Drake at second. And DJ Rayburn is at third. 0-2.
Seen it in Chicago. Now Michael goes into the game and it's all in rhythm and we're off. You know, well, somebody like stalled on him and he kept holding it and holding it. You were right on time.
Thanks to Holt and Tanaka.
So many games, I'm starting to notice these things.
That one has popped up left side. Long run for Young. He slides and he makes the play. That would have been a fair ball, but a great play by Chris Young, who had a long way to go.
Chris Young comes in a lot of times when he's not playing for defense. It's late in the game for his defense. Good, solid play there. You can't say how big of an out that is to start a game. It ends up being a double or a triple if he doesn't come up with it.
Tanaka likes it.
That first out, trying to get through that first inning is always a huge thing for pitchers, huh, Flash?
There's Xander Bogaerts having a great year for the Red Sox, and he takes a strike.
You know, and especially coming off a start against Texas where he just never looked comfortable, and early on in this one throwing strikes. Heading the count to Bogaerts.
That one is chopped to short. Nice hop for Gregorius. And he gets Bogaerts with the second out. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 85 degrees, 12 miles per hour. That's the wind gust. Humidity is 45%, mostly clear. Patches of clouds at the moment.
Bigelow's been on a roll, Michael. Some of the weather we've had lately, huh?
Well, it was hot tea in Chicago.
It was. It was. It's not iced tea today, but it's beautiful.
Here's David Ortiz.
This guy still amazes me. You look at the 20 home runs, 60 RBI. I was just watching him take batting practice. Still, his bats, he just doesn't miss a lot of pitches and just hammers the ball. Still has tremendous power.
You know, I want to get back to you guys. Make it sound like you were in Texas over the weekend.
Well, it wasn't.
I was
cool.
in Texas during the week.
It
okay?
was not cool in Chicago. You know what? What you did? You blew that hot air up to Chicago, and Mike and I just sat there and dealt with it.
High fly ball, center field. Drifting back, Ellsbury makes the play, and Tanaka works a 1-2-3 inning. So the Red Sox go down in order. Red Sox nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat. His Major League debut on Broadway at Yankee Stadium against the Yankees. Let's see the Yankees starting lineup that he is going to face, presented by Lexus. Jacoby Ellsbury in center field will lead off, batting second. Playing left, Chris Young. The DH, Alex Rodriguez, about third. Cleaning up, first baseman Mark Teixeira. Brian McCann behind the plate, bats fifth. Batting sixth, playing right field, Carlos Beltran. Chase Headley's at third base, about seventh. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, Didi Gregorius. Brendan Ryan, the second baseman. He's going to bat ninth.
Well, manager Joe Girardi sends that lineup out against the lefty rookie making his Major League debut, Henry Owens. Look at his numbers from the Paw Sox, AAA Pawtucket. 21 starts, 3-8, the ERA at 3.16. Look at our pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealer. It's a 36th pick in the draft in 2011, and there is some good news. 193 batting average against him. That was the lowest in all of AAA. But of course, there is some bad news. 56 walks and 122 in the third innings. Something he needs to clean up a little bit.
So he takes a deep breath, and when he delivers this pitch, being a major leaguer, his dream will be realized. And he throws a first pitch strike.
He did walk a lot in AAA, but his last 58 innings, only 14 walks, so he tightened it up to about 2.2 per 9 innings. Really the one department the Red Sox say he needs to do a better job, throwing the ball over the plate.
This whole series, the Red Sox are going to run out rookie pitchers against the Yankees. The last time the Red Sox, in a 3-game set against the Yankees, started 3 rookie pitchers. You have to go back to August 28th, 29th, and 30th of 1945. This is not the year the Red Sox envisioned.
It's not the typical Red Sox-Yankee series in August, no doubt about it. But it's important for the Yankees to continue to just, continue on. And the thing is, you're playing a team that's not used to winning. You're playing a team that's having a bad year. But there's still the Boston Yankee thing. So the Boston Red Sox will show up against the Yankees.
Well, you're also playing a team that is giving some young players opportunities. Michael, you talked about the catcher behind the plate, a lefty on the mound. They're just trying to show up and get some things done.
Breaking ball there. Wow.
Top 5 prospects according to Baseball America, and they're all pretty much part of what the Red Sox are doing right now. Swing and a miss. And his first out in the big leagues is a strikeout. Let's check out the defense behind him, and it's brought to you by Geico. Hanley Ramirez is in left. He's not your typical left fielder. You've got Jackie Bradley Jr. who can go get it in center. Alejandro De Aza is in right. Infield, Sandoval, Bogarts, Holt, and Napoli third and first. Swihart behind the plate, and Owens is on the mound. Dustin Pedroia has been battling injuries on the DL.
Big part of their makeup as a team. Dustin Pedroia, he kind of just keeps that team together. He's MVP. I mean, he can do a lot of things on the field for a team.
Got hamstring issues, putting him on the shelf. Check swing.
It's so difficult for a lineup when you're facing a young kid and you don't see really any video, maybe very little from the minor leagues, and you get a scouting report, but until you get up there, I'm watching this fastball 89, 92. It looks like it has a little more on it than that.
Right, and he's so tall. His arm angle and everything, you know, the height of a pitcher always seemed to bother me. I don't know why. It's just you're not used to seeing the ball from that release point.
Rounded sharply, grabbed there by Bogarts, but no play. They had the shift on. 3 infielders on the left side, but somehow Young found a hole. Now hit against the lefty. What new?
Chris Young just keeps beating up on the left-handed pitching, does a good job getting ahead in the count, 3-1. And he had a couple of looks at that fastball, able to measure it a little bit better on a 3-1 count. Out of the reach of Sandoval.
You know, Chris Young, to me, when he goes to the plate against the lefty, he physically, in his mind, just mentally knows he's going to get a hit. I mean, you become so confident in certain situations. Some guys become that way against righties. Some guys become that way with runners in scoring position. Against lefties, I mean, he is just a force for Joe Girardi.
Well, there's no fear of the ball going away from him, right? The breaking ball will always be coming in.
Here's A-Rod.
So much about prospects, you know, big tall lefty, you think, wow, 96, 97, well, it is 81 to 91, 89 to 91 to this point. Good change up. I'm sure every lefty has a good change up, right?
We heard fastball, curveball, slider, change. There's a change up at about 80. Good separation, about 10 miles an hour.
I would think that, I mean, you're nervous as a rookie anyway, but I think it would be much easier to start on the road than it would be at home for me. Yankee Stadium is Yankee Stadium, but you know, there's something about being at home with an organization that I think you put a little bit more pressure on yourself.
Yeah, you almost seem like you're part of your group of 25 in the traveling party, you know, and everything else is against you.
This is something A-Rod's done all year. Really identifies pitches and works the count in his favor. He'll take the walk if they're not going to throw him strikes. And why not? You've got Mark Teixeira with 29 home runs behind you. Got the fastball by him, 3-2.
Now that's a big pitch right there for Owens, because most AAA minor league pitchers come to the big leagues. They think they have to be a little bit better. This is 3-1 right by Alex Rodriguez. You wonder if that does a little something for his confidence. I don't have to do any more. Just do what I did down in AAA where I was having a good year.
Saw 2-1. He went with the changeup, so you see he's not afraid to get away from his fastball and fastball counts. Back-to-back fastballs, and neither one did Alex look like he recognized real well.
talked about the Paw Sox. I played 4 years in Pawtucket, and you think about the stadium, 2 decks. Then you come to Yankee Stadium, you have that 3rd deck and a packed house looking down at you. Can be intimidating once you get to the big leagues.
So Alex works the walk, and that'll bring up Teixeira, which brings us to the Honda League leaders and the home run leaders in the American League. Mike Trout with 32, Albert Pujols and Nelson Cruz tied with 30, and Mark Teixeira and J.D. Martinez each with 29. And as Paul detailed on the open to the show, Teixeira had a couple of 2 home run games on the trip and then a solo home run game on Sunday in Chicago. So Owens in a jam. 1-0.
I wonder if Mark Teixeira was standing on deck watching Alex Rodriguez behind a few fastballs. You know, you start thinking to yourself, I might cheat just a little bit, make sure I get the bat head out in a good count.
Also, you see the Yankee hitter, especially the veteran part of the lineup here, taking a lot of pitches, knowing a young pitcher will, you know, they'll dig a hole for themselves. There's been fastball counts, there's been walks. Mark Teixeira there for a couple days, 2 home runs back-to-back days. Had kind of a weird night where he had some awkward swings, and then Sunday clobbered one again out into right center, just a bomb. Breaking ball, I didn't see it. So, you know, he's trying to get through this first inning, but he's using everything he has. And a lot of pitchers will try to get through that lineup the first time around and not show everything.
Hammer foul. First and second, 1 man out, 3-2 count on the cleanup hitter, Mark Teixeira. Rounded up the middle and through for a base hit. Young rounds third. He will score. A-Rod stops at second. It's an RBI single for Teixeira, and the Yankees have a run and a 1-0 lead.
And if you look at the pitch by pitch, Mark Teixeira very, very patient. Ball 1, ball 2. Then he gets a fastball in, but again, he misses with the breaking ball. It's a good swing there, and then just singles one past up the middle.
RBI number 75 for Mark Teixeira, and that'll bring out the pitching coach, Carl Willis, to try to settle down this rookie.
If you're Mark Teixeira and you're having this type of year, you hit a ball off the end of the bat, it finds a way up the middle, base hit, and RBI. Stephen Drew was having the type of year he's having. It's a ground ball to short or second, double play.
Again, Mark Teixeira is one of those guys. I was kind of mentioning earlier that he's so good in these situations of driving in runs. Just believe it. You know, you're going to get it done.
Now runners on first and second, and that pitch is high.
Yankee hitters being very patient. You know, when you haven't seen a pitcher, you know, it's good to see pitches. And I tell you what, when you're taking pitches and they're not strikes, so good to put yourself in good counts where you've seen the release point. You see Owens just starting to overthrow a little bit. Everything's starting to quicken up. Things are happening a little bit too quick right now.
Getting a break at all from Mike Everett. If it's off the plate, it's a ball, so 3-0. Do they give a green light to Brian McCann?
Wow, the phone's out early, huh?
Now that phone call was to the video.
Right, just to check and see if he's getting squeezed back there.
Swihart behind the plate has caught Owens in AAA plenty, but this is going to be a dangerous pitch right here. 3-1. Brian McCann.
There's a strike.
He's taken all the way.
It's again, I mean, you just let kids, make them throw more pitches, make them dig themselves through their own holes. 3-1, 3-2, you're probably going to get the same pitch.
That one is drilled into left center. On the run is Bradley, and he makes the play as a runner's retreat.
It's one thing that they talk about Bradley. He can run anything down out in the outfield. Can't get good wood on it. Left center field. Sound. It's Bradley, great jump, easy play. We just did that Chicago series, and these were the situations where the Yankees continued to get the big hit. 2 outs and in scoring position, they just kept tacking on run after run, and that's why they scored so many runs in Chicago.
Well, this is the Yankee inning, guys. This is now their 92nd run in the first inning, the most of any team in baseball, and nothing like jumping off to an early lead. The Yankees have done that a lot.
I think Tanaka is one of the best at pitching with a lead.
Goes off speed, drops in a strike. One and two. Yankees don't have their best speed on the bases, nor at the plate. So a single might not make it 2-0. Popped up on the left side. Swagger makes the play, and that will do it. 1 run, 2 hits, and 2 left against the rookie in his major league debut. 1-0 Yankees as we go to the second. Yankees. Does MLB need to increase penalties in order to avoid bench clearing incidents? Why or why not? Wendy G, NYY, no, players are aware of penalties when they leave the bench. Besides, sometimes it creates much needed excitement. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Prius to keep the conversation going. The Royals have been in a lot of those brawls this year.
It's a reason why. A couple of guys on their staff like throwing up and in.
Yeah, you know, people believe that they're a good team now. They've had a great year, and a lot of times I remember the better year you had, it was more important to, you had to put up with it sometimes because, you didn't want to get people hurt and stuff. Well, you know what? If people are taking shots at you, you got to protect your players. Tell you what, talent-wise at the plate, this guy right here has as much talent as a hitter as anybody in baseball.
Red Sox have had such a tough year, and it doesn't surprise me. The ERA 4.52, 14th in the league. I think everybody thought they'd struggle there. They haven't got the job done scoring runs, only 8th in the league. They don't hit for much power anymore, only 96 home runs. This is a different team. Yeah, and it's a tough ballpark to play in when you're not scoring runs. You're not going to win a lot of games. They've been horrible on the road this year, too.
Foul ball grabbed by Headley.
Kind of a tough way to put a team together, though. We're going to put in a bunch of sluggers, and we're going to try to outscore everybody at Fenway Park.
You know, on given nights, it's fun, but it's just it wears on you offensively. I mean, sooner or later, you're going to have nights where you don't score 6 or 7 runs, and if your pitching isn't up to par, you're going to lose.
So Red Sox manager John Farrell, his birthday today, 53 years old. Ground ball to short. Anyway, well, we give you the Red Sox team scouting report brought to you by Mohegan Sun, full of action, full of possibilities, full of life.
It's been a second half slide. They had a really good road trip up to the All-Star break, and since they're 5-12 in the second half, kind of just dug themselves too big of a hole. Roughed up pitching. I mean, we talked about it. Allowing 4.82 runs, which is 27th in Major League Baseball. And just look how far they've come since 2013 when they won the World Series. They're 118 and 150. So it's going the wrong way.
Sandoval signed a big contract with the Red Sox, leaving the San Francisco Giants, where he won 3 titles. Red Sox thought they were getting a switch hitting third baseman, and he decided to stop hitting right-handed. Swing.
Good split finger, and so far he's been down in the zone with everything. Just watch how much Sandoval misses his split finger. Good action down.
95 miles an hour. Feeling frisky.
Feeling frisky, really?
Yep.
Where in the world did that come from? Just off the plate outside.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Sandoval down on strikes.
Thinking back to the last outing against Texas, a game that I was working, and you could tell that Tanaka just didn't feel right. A lot of time in between pitches. There's that split, Paul, you were talking about, down in the zone. But even the look on his face and the body language early in this one, he's forgotten about that last start. Off to a really good start in this one.
I was listening to you, Flash, when I was listening to Michael's show, and you're gracious enough to go on with Michael anytime he gives you a call and talk to him and make a show.
Oh, you'll have to save this response as Chris Young drifts back, and he doesn't make the play. He kept looking at Ellsbury, and the ball drops. as Napoli reaches second.
Oh, that's kind of that in-between one, but you expect the center fielder to call you off, left fielder go all the way. They say extra outs. So Ellsbury, no intention. He's kind of veering off, and Sean expects him to come over. Both players feel like I could have had that ball, and nobody took charge.
It's a center fielder's ball, right?
Yeah,
takes charge.
Absolutely. So Tanaka, what I was saying, you were talking to Michael about some pitchers just they have great stuff, but they haven't figured out the nuances of pitching. And Tanaka, when you watch him when he's right, he understands pitching. I mean, he sets up one pitch, sets up the next pitch to the next pitch to get a guy out. It's just not one pitch at a time. It's an accumulation of pitches, how he wants the whole at bat to go.
Deaza fouls it back.
You know, and I guess my point was when we see Tanaka really good, it seems, I hate to say effortless, but there's a nice rhythm to the way he works. And when we see it go the other way, you can tell he slows down a little bit and has some looks on his face where he's questioning what's going on. And it doesn't happen often, but when it did the last outing, it kind of jumps out to me that he's not 100% comfortable. He doesn't look that way tonight. He looks locked in. I think I related to hitting all the time, but you can't expect to go out there and have 20 good at-bats in a row. Whereas pitchers, he had three good games. Then last one wasn't fantastic, and then you come back and you get on a good roll again.
One and two.
Off-speed pitch, and again, I don't care how good you are. You're going to have some outings where you're just not your best, but you say the slider right there, you see that guy give you 75-80% of good starts. I mean, that's a #1 pitcher. Sure. And if your fifth guy in line gives you half good starts, you set up a pitching staff for that. That's okay. It's just when your #1 gives you half good starts, then you're in trouble.
There's another level to it, too. If you think of Tanaka's last outing, 6 innings, 4 earned runs. Not terrible, and he didn't have anything in that game. Then really good ones find a way to get by, but not their great stuff.
Grounding to Gregorius. Throw to first. And Tanaka picks up Young and Ellsbury. No runs hit. One man left. We go to the bottom of the second. It's 1-0 Yankees. loss column over the Orioles, 7 games up in the loss column over the Blue Jays. Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead in the top of the first inning against Minnesota. Bottom of the first inning. No, now it's in the top of the third. Rays 7.5 back, and the Red Sox are in last place. So Toronto 1, Minnesota 0. Top of the third at Rogers Center.
The ever important loss column.
That's right.
I've been hanging around you way too much. You know that?
Because you can't make up games in the loss column.
Can't do it?
No, you make them up in the win column. Big ovation between innings when the Yankee Stadium crew showed Tracy Morgan at the game. Tracy Morgan was involved in a horrific car accident that actually killed his best friend, and he was recuperating for a long time. It's so great to see him here, and that he's doing well. So great news on Tracy Morgan. And there's a base hit for Chase Headley. Chase Headley on the road trip, 16 for 37. He has really been on fire, and his average is at 278.
This is what he's been doing. He hasn't been trying to pull the ball. He's been staying right center field right-handed, left center field left-handed, and just getting his hits. Just driving in runs. Had a great July. I think everybody's kind of getting on the bandwagon offensively, especially the lower part of the order, and just, you know, it's my time to have a good at bat, and it's not always about driving the ball out of the park.
Here's Gregorius, and boys, he had a lot of good at-bats. 14 for 32 on the road trip. And he's been one of the hottest hitters in baseball. And the bottom of the order for the Yankees on the road trip, 388, 5 homers, 32 ribbies, on-base percentage 415, slugging percentage of 628. Pretty good.
Think back to the beginning of the year. It was Ellsbury and Gardner. Right then, the middle of the year, A-Rod and Mark Teixeira carrying everybody. Now it's 1 through 9.
Yeah, it has changed. Ellsbury's getting better and better. And you know, it's like A-Rod has a huge game, and then Tex has a huge game, and then, you know, everybody's kind of filling in on their nights. Gregorius had a tremendous, you see, the last 11 games. So it's just, it's fun to come to the ballpark when the team is rolling like it is now.
A couple of the Yankees had a discussion with Gregorius when he was really struggling because he wasn't hitting any pitch. And they all said to him, you know what? Be the best fastball hitter we've ever seen. Have everything else play off that. So then he started to get hits on fastball, and of course it gets around the league, and they started throwing breaking balls, and he was missing those. But he had gained enough confidence with the fastball that now he was able to hit the breaking ball as well. So just sitting fastball, getting hits, improved his confidence.
I think he simplified the approach too, getting on the plate a little bit more and pulling.
Pitch there. Kind of a hanging breaking ball. Watch this ball. It just doesn't end up on the outside part of the plate. That is a pitch from a lefty that you love. It kind of just sits there.
A lot of pitches for the youngster. 42. Still nobody out in the second.
See, there's a good slider. That ball ends up out off the plate. It's a swing and miss from lefties. See, they didn't believe me in the truck. They had to show the overhead to make sure that was off the plate. It was in the other batter's box, right?
Fly ball the other way, and it's in the seats. You know, we never mention these names, and, you know, you blame people when a certain part of the team isn't doing well, but I guess you should give some props to Jeff Pentland and Alan Cockrell. Pentland is the hitting coach, Cockrell's his assistant, and the team is second in runs scored behind the Blue Jays, and they struggled so much offensively last year, so give some credit to those guys. Pentland on the left and Cockrell on the right. 2-2. Popped up behind the plate. Swihart can't get there.
It's a good bid by Swihart. He goes up against the netting, not able to make the play. And you see that little advertisement there in the padding. Really the separation from him trying to make that play.
Two. Swing and a miss. Got it. So Gregorius down on strikes.
Sometimes as a hitter you put together a good at bat, but you foul off a lot of pitches that you could have put in play. And right there, Gregorius had a good at bat on some pitches that he fouled off, but then he missed a couple. Finally got off on a slider and just missed it.
Bring up Brendan Ryan. We told you Toronto leads Minnesota 1-0, bottom of the third. Tampa Bay is in Chicago to meet the White Sox. And Baltimore starts a long West Coast trip against Oakland tonight. And that's an advantage the Yankees have. They're done with their West Coast obligations.
Done with the really long trip right after this 10-day trip.
Yep. Two and 0.
Reason you're talking about the end of the lineup. Brendan Ryan has done a good job. He's getting some starts off left-handed pitching. He's coming in this bat hitting over 300.
High fly ball, left field. Ramirez makes the play for the second out. Now Baltimore started their West Coast trip with a 9-2 victory over Oakland last night. So this will be the second game of that series. Here's Ellsbury, who struck out in the first inning.
Ellsbury strikes out on probably the best slider that Owens has thrown all night.
Popped up. Bogarts is there and puts it away for the final out. No runs, a hit, the leadoff single by Headley, one man left. Let's go to the third. It's 1-0 Yanks. McDomino's. Order online and track your order. By the Acura, it's that kind of summer event. And by 5-Hour Energy Shots. Have you tried great tasting 5-Hour Energy lately? Here's Blake Swihart. And there's a strike. Audi A3 scoreboard 1-0, top third. Number 1 catching prospect in all of baseball, according to Baseball America, Blake Swihart.
You believe in all those, Flash? You believe in all the baseball, all the prospect and how they rank them and this and that?
Not really, but okay.
I'm in the same boat. I mean, you see some of these players, and I'm not saying anything about Blake Swihart, but it's like, oh, this is the next so and so and so, and 3 years later, they're not even in the major leagues.
Swihart, one of those guys that's converting to catcher, so you'll say he's the top catching prospect. Does that mean
he's not quite there?
He's the top player who plays catcher?
Yes.
Right, so he probably needs to get a whole lot better behind the plate before we can call him a top catching prospect. He's an offensive type player.
Made his major league debut against the Yankees this year on May 2nd. Did not go.
Vasquez, their number 1 catcher, had to go down with Tommy John surgery, so this kid comes up, gets an opportunity, splitting some time with Hannigan, veteran. It's an opportunity to show what he can do at the big league level.
Strike 3. He does not like the call. 1 away.
To his credit, there were a couple of low strikes called in this at bat by Mike Everett. This is one of them, a slider. McCann catches it down, brings it up. Swihart can't believe it. It's probably not the reaction you want to have as a young player.
Well, I tell you what, sometimes you said it's a reaction. I mean, you see the ball, you see where it's caught, and it's just, but Tanaka's making it so tough because he's there, pitch after pitch after pitch, and you put pressure on the umpire to start calling it when you can continually throw it.
To Jackie Bradley Jr. Low. With Pawtucket, he was called up Wednesday again. 305, 9 homers, 29 ribbies. Mookie Betts has been playing a great center field, but he's hurt.
Concussion list.
Is that? It's not a full 15 days.
7, I think.
7 days.
But he's not going to be ready when the 7 days are up. Jackie Bradley Jr. a couple of years ago in spring training had one of those amazing springs, hit over 400, makes the team, and all of a sudden reality sets in and the big league grind sets in, and he's kind of had a struggle ever since.
It's amazing how things change when you leave camp. You leave the small ballparks of spring training to the big major league field, and it just seems harder. Tanaka, it seems like everybody's off of his fastball, missing his slider, swinging through the split finger. To this point, razor sharp.
I just thought watching Jackie Bradley Jr. for a smaller guy and a defensive player who can really run, a big swing. You wonder at some point if he might have to shorten that swing a little bit, just try to put the ball in play a little bit more and take his chances. But he always has the big swing with an extended follow through.
Driven into center field. That sunk at the last moment. Staying with it is Ellsbury for the second out. Kind of gave him a little bit of a knuckle.
Actually a pretty good swing right here. He shortened up a little bit in the knuckleball to center field.
Yeah, it's always the hardest play for an outfielder. There's no spin on it. You can't really track it like you usually would, and you just kind of stab it at the end. Much like a knuckleball you see from a pitcher. It just has an unusual motion to it or direction. He just can't follow it.
Allen is skied to right. Going back is Beltran. He makes the play on the warning track for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. So Holt hit it well, but the ballpark held it in. We go to the bottom of the third.
Medical Center, Montefiore Inspired Medicine. As Michael mentioned earlier today, Dustin Ackley was placed on the 15-day DL with a right lumbar strain. Also, Brian Cashman broke the news that Mason Williams will undergo shoulder surgery on Friday. Originally, that injury happened on June 19th, diving back to first base. It looked like he had just jammed his shoulder. Did not think that surgery would be necessary. However, it's taken longer for him to progress than they originally thought, so Mason Williams will, in fact, undergo surgery. Now, Dustin Ackley said this is something that he had never felt before. He had an epidural earlier today, and sometimes it takes as long as 14 days for that to completely set in. Now, Chase Headley is another guy that had had some back issues in San Diego, so actually Ackley asked Headley what he did to try to bounce back from that, and Headley gave him a series of exercises to kind of work on the strength of his lower back. But he's hoping that he's only out a little while and he's back sooner rather than later. But guys, if this thing doesn't heal with the epidural, he could undergo another epidural, or surgery could be an option if that doesn't clear it up.
The 0-1 to Chris Young fouled away. Now, obviously, the first question, Meredith, is going to be, and you see the Audi A3 scoreboard, 1-0 Yankees. Was he hurt when the Yankees got him? But Brian Cashman said all the medicals that they looked at, he was fine.
He said no, that he was not in fact hurt when he was with the Seattle Mariners. He is not looking at the Mariners as maybe not giving him all the information. They checked out all the medicals and everything looked good, and Ackley said it was Friday that he first started feeling something, a little bit of a dull pain down his left side, and then it wasn't until after the 3 at-bats that he got with the Yankees that he told somebody about it. They checked it out. They decided to give him an MRI, and that's what really revealed the fact that he had a little bit of a bulging disc. So something that they're definitely keeping an eye on, and they're hoping that he doesn't have to undergo surgery to repair that.
Thanks, Meredith. So not great news, obviously, and real bad luck. He hardly played for the Yankees and suffers this tough injury. And we'll see if the epidural does work. 3-2. Breaking ball, strike 3. Young knew it. He's down looking.
Don't see that very often. Chris Young froze on a curveball. Stuff lefty pitching.
I don't think we've seen a curveball, and he drops one right on the outside corner, 3-2 count. Chris Young, you say, all right, I'm fooled, I'm beat, and I'll take it right into the dugout.
Starting to see what the Yankees hitters will do the second, third time around against Owens here. Wow. Alex Rodriguez was ready for that heater, I'll tell you that.
So we're seeing the Major League debut of Henry Owens.
And tomorrow, we get to see the Major League debut of Luis Severino of the Yankees. And the buzz around baseball is significant. There's a lot of people that think this guy is the real deal. 21 years old, and we'll see him tomorrow on that mound.
Looking forward to that, Flash. I know that it won't take you long to from a catcher standpoint, just to see his stuff and see how he uses it.
Well, you know, you think back to spring training, we saw him a couple of times.
High fly ball, left center. Bradley back. And he'll make the play in front of the track.
And everybody talked about his power arm, which he throws hard, but it was a changeup and a slider that jumped out. And this will be tomorrow night. We'll get to look at his Major League debut. Talk to some people. They say obviously the fastball is good, but the slider can be small. He's got a bigger one, and the changeup is a plus pitch. A lot to be excited about.
It's funny. He was in Staten Island with my nephew a couple years ago. It just shows you how far he's come. And I saw him pitch. This happened to be the night that I went to see Michael, my nephew, play, and was really like blown away with this kid. But he was fastball slider.
Right.
And I'm thinking, you know, this guy's really kind of built for the bullpen.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, built for the bullpen. He's going to need another pitch, and all of a sudden you see now that he's got that changeup, which made him a true starter.
But even the highlights that we saw there, the way he attacks hitters is what everybody's talking about. Like, he will not be afraid. Might not work out tomorrow night, but it's not going to be because he's intimidated or afraid.
Ground ball to Bogarts. Teixeira retired, and Henry Owens works his first big league 1-2-3 inning as we go to the fourth with the Yankees up 1-0. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. All right, we go to the fourth inning. It's 1-0 Yankees. The RBI single by Mark Teixeira, the only run. That was in the bottom of the first. And here is Xander Bogaerts. Bogaerts is having some year. 5th in the American League in average, 5th in the American League in hits. Leads the American League with a .391 average with runners in scoring position. Tops all major leaguers with a .396 average against left-handers.
You know what really stings, Flash, is when you have a great year and you're on a team that's having a losing season, because it doesn't seem like you're accomplishing anything. You know, you're doing everything you can as a player, but all of a sudden it's not fun because you're not part of a winning atmosphere. You're not part of help winning games, you know, going forward.
The only rewarding thing is he came up a couple of years ago and did so well in the postseason, and then last year was kind of a down year.
Fly ball right field going back is Beltran. Makes the play right on the lip of the grass before the warning track for the first out.
It's just a good example that when you come up and have some success, you come back the next year, it's not guaranteed that it's going to be that easy again. Kind of a wake-up call. You go back in the offseason, and now he's having a big year. But to your point, you hope you can do it when you help your club win a championship or get to the playoffs at least.
Here's David Ortiz. Shift is on for Ortiz. And teams were shifting for Ortiz before it became the thing to do. 3 infielders on the right side. Grounded to Teixeira. And there's 2 right. Teixeira seemed like he took his time just to let Ortiz get some running in.
Well, it's not like they were both sprinting to the bag. You know, Poppy's up there for one thing, and that's to shoot one in the seats. You see Mark Teixeira, see him, and just take your time. Michael, you were talking about your wheels. You got a good chance. That wasn't even the slow motion right there. You got a good chance right there. Right?
I think he'd turn it on, though.
Yeah.
I'd be done. Hanley Ramirez takes a strike.
After 2 quick outs, that third hitter, you know, you've got to take a strike, and it's always a strike right down the middle.
Oh, 2 on Ramirez. He thought that was low.
Remember Ramirez, I mean, with the Dodgers, they were making that World Series run, Michael, when he came down, you know, with an injury, big part of their offense. Who knows what would happen.
Right now, Tanaka perfect, other than that misplayed fly ball in the second inning, which was scored a double for Napoli. Has not allowed another base runner. The 0-2. 1-2.
Watching Tanaka take the signal there, and you know, McCann first wanted to go fastball in. Well, he didn't shake him; he just stood there, and McCann went right to another sign. So there are some pitchers that will shake, and some pitchers that just continue to stare until you get to the signal they want.
Yeah, and just trying to play some mind games with the hitter up there. Instead of shaking to a different sign, you're just staring in. Hitter thinks it's the first sign you're going to.
Breaking ball, strike 3. Ramirez down looking, and now he's looking and going, really? Red Sox go down in order against Tanaka, and we go to the bottom of the 4th.
Moments and by Toyota, the official hybrid of the New York Yankees. 1-0 Yankees as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Yankees got their run in the first inning against the rookie Henry Owens. You see it on the Lincoln scoreboard. Yankees 3 hits and the Red Sox with 1. A miscommunication between Ellsbury and Young in left center field, allowing Napoli a double. Now, Tanaka continues to retire. People will say, well, how come that's a hit, not an error? Well, nobody really touched it, so that's the perfect example of a team error, but you can't give an error to Young, can't give an error to Ellsbury, so it's a double. Toronto 2-1 over Minnesota, bottom of the fourth inning. Home run by Troy Tulowitzki, his second as a Blue Jay. Kansas City leads Detroit 3-0. I bring up that game. That's at the top of the fifth inning. There's a little bit of a shocker in Major League Baseball today. Long-time Tiger GM Dave Dombrowski was relieved of his duties. They said it was a mutual situation, no acrimony at all. And Alex Avila was named the new GM of the Tigers as McCann grounds to first for the first out.
Kind of a strange transaction, and everybody said that the Tigers did pretty well in the David Price trade, right, with the prospects that came back.
It's just odd. His contract was ending at the end of this year. If you knew there was going to be a parting of the ways, why would he be allowed to make those deals? Traded Soria, traded Cespedes, traded Price, but Al Avila takes over.
Avila is the father of the catch.
Yeah, I'd like to see that contract negotiation.
That's kind of weird,
and he's
right?
a free agent to be, I believe. Hey, Dad, give him what he got on the table, Dad.
I mean, what do you say, like, at Thanksgiving dinner? It's like, Dad, are you going to sign me for this or that?
Or maybe not. Time to leave the house. Go out on your own.
Trying to take care of you.
Beltran with a high fly ball. And it's caught by Holt. It's that time of the night, guys, where it's a little difficult. And the shortstop, Bogarts, had no idea where that ball was.
High fly ball. Every once in a while, it gets up there, and you kind of lose it for a minute. And that's when it's a bad feeling as a fielder.
Well, maybe Jackie Bradley Jr., the center fielder, would come in a little bit more aggressively. He's kind of cruising.
Here's Chase Headley.
A lot of times, right at this time of the day, you know, you would yell into Tino, yell into Knobloch, and say, hey, you know what, time of the day now. You really got to talk. Because there can be a ball that actually all three people could catch, and one or two of them might lose it. You just have to talk to each other at that time.
It's a good point, because now you see everybody looking at each other, but
right.
Nobody's talking. It's like, oh, I think he's got it.
And it only lasts for like 10 minutes or so, and then it gets dark enough where, you know, you don't lose it.
High fly ball, left center. Going back is Bradley, and he makes the play on the warning track for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. So Headley gave it a ride, and we go to the fifth inning. It's 1-0 Yankees.
Yankees over the Red Sox. Pablo Sandoval will lead off against Masahiro Tanaka.
Tulowitzki last year was injured and he came in to watch Jeter play. Big fan of Derek Jeter.
That's why he wears number 2. Ground ball to second. One away. More from Bob. Bob, what's up?
Bob's got nobody to talk to in the studio. He just keeps hitting the button. I need to go in. I need to go in.
So the Nationals leading and the Mets are trailing the Marlins 1-0 top of the 4th. Tampa Bay got 2 runs in the top of the 1st inning against the White Sox. Still batting. And Baltimore Oakland a 10:05 start. Blue Jays are coming into town this weekend for a 3-game set. So here's Napoli, the only base runner against Tanaka. On a high fly ball to left center, should have been caught. Young looked for Ellsbury. Ellsbury looked for Young, and the ball dropped down. That was with 2 outs in the second.
It'll be a fun weekend with the Blue Jays coming in here. I was thinking about it driving in. As a player, you can't look forward, from this series. Obviously, you got to take care of the Red Sox, but Toronto making all those moves, they're feeling good about themselves, and you get a first-hand look at new clubs coming in, new members of the Blue Jays.
A lot of games left in your division now, so you're going to see a lot of them. And you're right. I mean, they've upgraded. There's no doubt about it. David Price had a great outing yesterday. Tulowitzki's hitting the ball well.
I think from the Yankee standpoint, you pay attention and you say, we like our club. Well, let's go. Let's see what you have and have a nice weekend.
Got a 6-game lead at this point, so things are going well in New York. Sometimes everybody wants change. There's a clean hit. Michael Napoli got his second, 1 cheap one and 1 clean one, another double. Every once in a while, just making a deal to make a deal is not the right thing to do for an organization. And it's going to play out whether it's the right move or not. But the Yankees right now, if Tanaka continues to get better, and I'll tell you what, Michael, I don't know if you remember. Obviously, you remember how good Nova looked over the weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be another ace pitcher if he continues to progress like he has.
So within the next 2 weeks, Yankees will really get a feel for Toronto. 3 games here this weekend, 3 games in Toronto next weekend. Yankees have a road trip to Cleveland and Toronto. Deaza shows bunt. I believe that with that double, Napoli 5 for 8 lifetime against Tanaka. A couple of home runs. Again, he shows bunt.
This game has a very weird feel to it. If you think about the rookie pitcher, Henry Owens really struggled early. Yankees had a chance to jump out quick. Only got that 1 run in the 1st inning. Tanaka's been so good. 1 hit away from this being a tie ball game.
Yeah, exactly. You look at Owens, and if you're Farrell, the manager from the Red Sox, you're thinking, wow, he got in a situation where he really could have given up a big number, and he got out of that 1st inning.
Push bunt, going to be a very tough play. Tanaka runs into Headley, and everybody's safe. So that'll be a base hit for Deaza, who was pretty much advertising, I'm going to bunt, and he did, as Napoli moves to 3rd.
Yeah, he's squaring around early, just challenging Headley and Tanaka. I'm going to place this down the line, perfectly placed. That play reminds me of Paul Quantrill, and Alex Rodriguez had the same type of play, and Quantrill blew out his knee. Tanaka lucky that he wasn't hurt on this play. See, comes and fields it. Headley with his momentum right into the lower body. Good look on Yes Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Looks like everybody's going to be all right.
And Headley could have gotten spiked. He did get spiked on his right leg. So now the Yankees looking for a double play to get out of this jam. First and third, one out here, Swihart. And a strike. One and one.
Thinking back to that play, Paul Quantrill and Alex Rodriguez, same type of play. I think it happened in Tokyo when we went over there in 04. Paul Quantrill played with a knee brace on his right knee the whole year. Kind of didn't have any drive down the hill, just fell down and had that good sinker. Just a tough break early on. I don't think he ever had surgery on it.
That one is looped into left field. It's a base hit for Swihart. That'll tie the game. Napoli scores. Going to third and getting there is De Aza. And Swihart is at second. So it's an RBI, and the game is tied at 1.
As you said, it's your one pitch from a tie game, and now you're one pitch from losing the lead. Just a kind of a spinning slider slapped the left field. I'll tell you what, De Aza got off to a great jump, got a great read on it. Chris Young kind of circles it. Saying, you know, second and third.
Would have been the right play to throw to second, huh?
Yeah, you want to keep that double play in order, obviously. A lot of times as an outfielder, you'll come in, make that play, and it almost surprises you that the guy's going to third, and before you even think about it, you know, you've got out of the process of where, you know, what you're trying to do, and you go ahead and throw to third.
That's a single going to second on the throw. Second and third in at the corners. Inside to Bradley.
It's what Paul is talking about. As you see, De Aza is going to come around second as Young turns towards third. Probably didn't have much of a play. Swihart cruises into second base.
Good base running on both ends there. De Aza must have got a really, really good read on that ball that it was going to fall in early.
Shows bunt. 2-0.
Just thinking here, John Farrell has nothing to lose in this whole series, right? He's playing a bunch of kids, a bunch of younger guys. They're in last place. A guy like Jackie Bradley Jr., you could throw some maybe suicide squeeze, safety squeeze. Be aggressive when you want to be if you're the manager of the Red Sox, really, with nothing to lose in this series.
This is a time that, you know, obviously not now 2-0, good hitters count, but, you know, if you have speed, you know, you can pull a bunt to the second baseman. You get the run in with an opportunity to still get a hit. I just don't think that guys with speed understand how much pressure you can put on the defense by doing things, by slapping the ball, by just, you know, pull bunting, drag bunting. Flash, we never had those opportunities.
You know what? I got the safety squeeze all the time with Joe Torre and Donson.
The safety squeeze.
Safety squeeze. You get a good pitch to bunt, it's a freebie.
Sure.
Two and two is Tanaka looking for a strikeout here.
You know what? Being a backup player, it was an opportunity to feel like you're contributing a little bit, and I wouldn't consider myself a great bunter, but it's all you got to do is get it down. Just get it down and pick up an RBI and feel like you did something offensively.
A lot of times, you know, you're getting a start every 6 or 7 days. It's not like you're at your best at the plate. I think Tanaka was sure what he wanted to do. Just threw him a really good slider. Get to the point now where you could put him away with that split finger.
Two, and that one gets away from McCann, but not far enough away. Count 3-2.
For the split finger strikeout and just bounced it too far in front of the plate. Good job by McCann.
It's really all mental for McCann. You call the split in your mind, you have to anticipate down. Wow, great look at the split finger grip there. The only thing McCann didn't do great was angle his body towards home plate. It's angled towards first base, and that's where the ball ends up going.
We're learning catching right there. I didn't pick up on that flash. I saw his body after you said it going the wrong way. But it's a good pickup by you, Flash. Nice job.
Long set and the 3-2. Fly ball left field. It's going to get a run in as Young drifts back. He makes the catch. Tagging is De Aza. He'll score with no throw. A sac fly for Bradley, and the Red Sox take a 2-1 lead.
It's so funny how baseball goes. You sit here talking, Tanaka's just dealing, and next thing you know, boom, a couple hits, a sacrifice fly, and now you're losing 2-1.
Boy, a rare show of emotion by Tanaka, barking at himself about giving up that fly ball to the number 9 hitter.
Got into position 2-2 to get the strikeout, and he kind of wasted a pitch that's bouncing in front of home plate. You're not going to get a strikeout. You got that ball up, high fastball, easy pitch to drive to the outfield.
Well, first 7 games this season, 4-2, 2.49. Double the ERA in the last 7. And opponents hitting 256 compared to 197 in his first 7.
You go for the first 4 innings, and it just, if he missed, he was mentioned by just an inch or so, and now this inning, all of a sudden with base runners, his misses are way off the plate or way in front of the plate with a split finger. It makes it easy hitting when things aren't close. When the ball's way off the plate or it bounces in front of the plate, everything's close. It just feels like you're flinching and everything. You don't quite get the pitch you want, but you're afraid to take it.
Popped up, shallow left, going back Gregorius. Young comes in, he'll make the play, and that'll do it. But the Red Sox take the lead. 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 left. We're halfway through. 2-1 Boston. Blue Jays, the first 18,000 guests in attendance, are going to receive a Yankees Beats tote courtesy of Moon Palace Jamaica Grand Resort and the Jamaica Tourist Board. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Bigelow T scoreboard 2-1 bottom of the 5th. And the first pitch to Gregorius, it's a breaking ball strike. Henry Owens, the 9th Red Sox pitcher to debut with a start at Yankee Stadium. But the most notable debut was by Billy Rohr on April 14th of the impossible dream year for the Red Sox, 1967. It was the Yankees' home opener. And Billy Rohr had a no-hitter with 2 outs and 2 strikes in the 9th inning. But Elston Howard broke it up with a single on a 3-2 pitch. Rohr had taken a line drive off the shin in the 6th inning. He stayed in. Carl Yastrzemski made a spectacular catch in left field for the first out of the 9th inning, but Elston Howard broke it up. 1 strike away from baseball immortality in your first big league game. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Gregorius down on strikes.
See a little hanging slider there again. Gregorius swings through it. Sometimes you get those hanging sliders, Flash, you don't expect to catch them, huh?
You're waiting for him to break.
Doesn't quite make.
Here's Brendan Ryan. Chases a high fastball. 0-1.
Interesting to see how manager John Farrell handles this one. 78 pitches for Owens. Really has regrouped nicely.
Grounded up the middle. Grabbed there by Holt. Can he make the play at first? Yes, he does. Just gets Ryan.
Owens coming right at Ryan now. A couple of fastballs. Holt makes a great play moving towards the infield. Had enough on the throw. Ryan by a half a step.
I'd like to see Ryan lunging like that. You know, he's had some issues with his legs this year. It's a good play. A lot of people don't realize when you watch on TV, when you're running away from the play, running away from first base, how difficult it is to throw against your body accurately.
He's talking about Farrell and how he's going to handle Owens. I mean, he's 80 pitches now. You figure what, 100 would probably be max. Do you take him out after 5 good and you're in line for a win? Or do you send him back out there? Young pitchers, sometimes you want to get them out of the game feeling good about themselves. Some scurrying in the bullpen makes me think about things like that.
You know, I'm kind of on the same page you are. I think especially in this situation where you're trying to just get guys experience.
Yeah.
You know, you want to build on things. You don't want to throw him out an extra inning. You're going to have to go through Teixeira and A-Rod next inning. You know, the last thing you want him to do is give up a big home run or give up the lead where, you know, he settled down after the first inning, and then to have him end on a bad note would not be good.
Yeah, right.
Owens deals the 0-2. 1-2.
Bob Tewksbury today. Bob Tewksbury, ex-pitcher for the Cardinals and the Twins, and he helps with Boston now. He said, I was asking about Owens, he said, well, the first thing you'll notice is his feet. What about his feet? He said he wears size 17. I go, all right. I guess he just said go to Modell's to pick up his spikes, huh?
Bob Tewksbury, an interesting guy. Not only works with, he's a sports psychologist for the Red Sox, too, so he works with physically and mentally. An old teammate of mine in San Diego in '96.
Is that right? Yeah. She went out there. To throw the kind of the eephus curveball at you once in a while.
Swing and a tip to stay alive.
Owens now showing the changeup left on left. We haven't seen that all game.
I'll tell you one thing. In the old days, for some reason, there was an unwritten rule as lefties don't throw changeups to lefties. And I mean, Frank Viola, one of the best changeups in the world, didn't throw lefties changeup. It was the greatest thing in the world to not worry about a lefty's best pitch. Changeup.
Bottom of the 5th, 2-1 Red Sox. Henry Owens, his major league debut, has a 3-2 count on Ellsbury. Swing and a miss, chasing the pitch way out of the strike zone. Owens retires the last 12 Yankees. We go to the 6th inning. It's 2-1 Red Sox. And connected devices with MLB.TV Premium. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. We go to the 6th inning. Xander Bogaerts will lead off against Masahiro Tanaka. Pitch is low while Henry Owens really has straightened himself out. And here is that last strikeout of Ellsbury. The replay brought to you by New York Presbyterian, the official hospital of New York Yankees. Amazing things are happening here.
A couple change-ups inside, and then he went to that slider way off the outside corner. It's very swung.
Tampa Bay 2-0 over the White Sox. That's the bottom of the 2nd. Toronto 2-1 over Minnesota, top of the 6th. Baltimore and Oakland at 10:05. Right here, it's 2-1 Boston. Boston has lost 7 straight games on the road and a major league worst 20-31 away from Fenway Park. Popped up, shallow right. Beltran's there to make the play. John McEnroe and Joe Piscopo.
The Mac.
Jet hat, Ranger shirt. Got it all going on.
I would pay to see you and Johnny Mac play tennis.
We played tennis.
How'd that go?
Well, I said, Johnny Mac, let's talk about the rules here. And I said, you get one serve, first serve. And he started walking away, and he said, if we're playing tennis, we're playing tennis. 15 minutes later, it was 6-0. I lost. And I did all the running.
Anybody argue calls?
No.
No?
There was nothing to argue. I was getting smoked. pretty cool. So he played a set against Johnny Mac. Huh?
How long ago was this?
5-6 years ago.
We're playing tennis. We're playing tennis. 22 years ago today, one of the strange fights in Major League Baseball history, Nolan Ryan delivering numerous noogies to the head of Robin Ventura.
It didn't even get kicked out of the game.
Really?
How do you like that? Numerous noogies. You say that like that's happened to you before.
No, I mean, but that's he was noogieing him right on the top of the head. He's a little fighter. And if you know Robin Ventura, I mean, you can't even picture him.
Yeah. I think his quote after the game was, you know, I didn't even really want to go out, but I felt like I had to.
As Ortiz walks. Let's take a look. 22 years ago today.
Here's Ventura, RBI single in the first. Watch out. Ouch. Look at this.
That's what a noogie is. That's a noogie.
It shows you, you know, how big Nolan Ryan was. He took a couple more warm-up pitches after that and just stayed in the game.
Old man teaching the kid a lesson right there, isn't it?
And the amazing thing is that, well, Robin has to live with this forever because I think Nolan Ryan has signed maybe 8 million copies of that picture. Ramirez takes low and away. When Nolan had the reputation, he was not afraid to throw inside.
I mean, that was the old days where, you know, if you took a swing too hard, it just... I got called up right when Nolan Ryan was in his heyday, and literally you would not even want to make eye contact with him out on the mound. You know, you would have your at-bats, and hopefully you get a hit. But you know, if you took a big swing, you're just like, is he coming in? You know, you were never comfortable in the box.
Foul ball. That was part of his success, I bet.
Well, I mean, intimidation is a big part of pitching, and much less today than the old day. You know, Clemens used it, Pedro Martinez used it, Randy Johnson used it in his early days, and it wasn't even intentional. He was just flat out wild.
Used it on his catchers too.
Oh, that's right. Randy went at it a couple times, Flash. Might have been the highlight of my my booth career up here this year. I'll tell you what, this game is, it's going too fast for the Yankees. It's just like their offense is not put together. Obviously, a lot of hits to score runs, but Tanaka, you know, has pitched obviously good enough to be winning this game. But as you look up, you know, you're getting beat 2-1.
There are times you face a young kid and you have him on the ropes early, and you start thinking, you know what, we're going to have not an easy night, but we're going to have plenty of opportunities to put him away. And now you're looking here in the 6th inning, you're down 2-1. I don't think manager John Farrell was thinking the way we were, Paul, because that bullpen is quiet out there for Boston.
Right back to Tanaka, and they double up Ortiz. Quick reaction by Tanaka and by Teixeira to get back to first behind Ortiz and end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Because of this double play, nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th. fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag #SDataStrongFan. Just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Yankee Classic 46.
I like that.
How's it like living out there all the time?
It's kind of pinch yourself once in a while.
Pretty cool. 2 more go out there before the end of the year. Andy and Jorge.
End of this month.
Yep.
Look forward to that weekend. Big weekend. Back-to-back days.
Robbie Ross Jr. is up in the bullpen. 6th inning, bottom of the 6th. Toronto now leads 3-1 over Minnesota. Chris Young lines one to left field. It's a base hit. Ramirez Fields holds Young to a single. He's now 2 for 3 against Henry Owens, and that breaks a streak of 12 straight Yankees retired against Owens.
Paul, you talked early on about Young, how he looks so confident against left-handed pitching. When that breaking ball comes rolling into you, there's no give. You can kind of have your momentum going towards home plate, reach out over and hook it into left field.
An adjustment. I mean, he was almost out in front, but that curveball was so slow that he was able to just hold his weight back. You know, your weight can go forward as long as your hands and your bat stay back. You still got something left.
Henry Owens has come right at Alex Rodriguez. Walked him his first at bat, but threw some fastballs by him and beat him. Second at bat, a fly ball to center field. Starting to see a lot more curveballs and changeups, but coming right at Alex with the fastball first pitch.
If you look at Chris Young here, watch. I mean, he's on it, and then you'll see this little hesitation, and that's where he's picked up the ball, and he kept his hands back far enough where he still had something to go to the baseball. Good adjustment in the middle of a swing. Times as a hitter, when I see that high fastball 0-2 out of the strike zone, to me tells me they want to get me out with something else. You know, he's thrown a lot of changeups. He's thrown that slow breaking ball. Another fastball, intentionally out of the strike zone.
I think that's the one pitch he thinks he might be able to get Alex out with. He's beat him with a few of them. He's thrown some by him and jammed him. 2 in a row. One up out of the zone that was wasted. One that was a pretty good pitch right there, up and in, just misses.
Fouled away.
Right. I mean, he's going at that fastball. That pitch, when I saw a catcher move away, I'm thinking change up.
Change up a curveball, yeah.
The fastball, and Alex. See, his approach with 2 strikes has been so good. You know, that front hip stays in, and he'll drive that ball to right center field.
That's why hard a young catcher and a young pitcher. Do you throw 4 fastballs in a row, or do you go something different?
2-2. Driven out into left center field. It's a deep drive. On the run is Bradley, and it's going to be off the wall. They are going to hold up Young. Young is held at third. A-Rod's at second with a double. Second and third, nobody out.
You know, Alex, he did. He got an off-speed pitch, and he waited on it, and he hammered it. And, you know, if you look at what the Red Sox could have done in getting Owens out here, see, that slider just didn't quite get to where he wanted. And Alex, I think, initially thought he hit this ball out of the ballpark. It's kind of a guided two-strike swing.
And by posing, if they were alert, they would have had him at second to go for the double.
I was so interested to see what pitch they were going to go with, because you didn't think they'd go 4 fastballs in a row, and they probably should have. because it was the one pitch that was beating Alex Rodriguez in the changeup, and he hammers it to left center.
Well, John Farrell, after this double and this trip by Chris Young to third, where he's held up by Joe Estada, makes the Verizon call to the bullpen. So Henry Owens' major league debut ends. He's leading 2-1, but he leaves second and third, nobody out in the bottom of the sixth. To the sixth inning, a single by Young, a double by A-Rod. So 5+ innings, 5 hits, 1 run. The runners on base are his responsibility. 1 walk and 5 strikeouts. And the Red Sox bring in Robbie Ross Jr. And their Red Sox will allow the game to be tied unless there's a ground ball to Napoli. Second and third, nobody out. Line drive, left field. It is a base hit. A-Rod had a hold up. Advances to second. It's another ribby for Teixeira, and the game is tied at 2.
Look at Owen, and just a tough inning. The third time around, Chris Young, just the master at hammering lefties. Then he's going to have to go through A-Rod and then Teixeira. Exactly what the Yankees won. Another RBI single. Teixeira.
We talked about it in the 5th inning. You wonder if John Farrell should have gotten him out of there. Going through the middle of the lineup was going to be tough. As you see the numbers for Ross, 3.98 ERA. Now he's in line to take a loss here if the Yankees can add 1 more.
When you're looking at Chris Young and Alex Rodriguez to start off this inning, I think you would just start a righty.
That is drilled into right center field. It's a base hit from McCann. It splits the outfielders, and it goes to the wall. A-Rod scores. Teixeira's at third. It's an RBI double for McCann, and the Yankees take a 3-2 lead.
Good situational hitting from McCann. He's had a couple good at-bats off Owens tonight. Hammered one to left center earlier. Ross kind of gets one out over the plate. Slider that didn't quite slide enough. McCann stays on it and just hammers it to right center field. Bradley Jr. doesn't run it down. It's pretty well hit. See at the end of that play, McCann, that's the new thing, is the fielder to keep that glove in case they just come off the base. He had that play in Chicago, Michael. Remember that? If that foot leaves the base at any time, he's out.
Infield comes in for the Red Sox, and McCann fouls it off. Or not McCann, Beltran fouls it off 1-1. Single for Young, double for A-Rod, single for Teixeira, double for McCann, and the Yankees take back the lead. 2-1. Beltran 0 for 2 against Henry Owens.
Ross Jr., he's got a tendency to kind of just throw that curveball that doesn't have a lot of break on it. So McCann hit. I'll tell you what, Beltran gets another one of those on the inner part of the inner half of the plate. It's going to be hammered to left field. What I've noticed lately is how patient the hitters have been. Even in situations like this, as a hitter, you get a little jumpy. You want it to happen real quick. Swinging at strikes.
Fly ball, right side, foul territory. No one gets there.
That's a product that you know you're going to have opportunities all game long because your lineup has been swinging so well. Instead of that, I have to do it now mentality.
That first time you say, I have to get this done, I have to, you're putting pressure on yourself as a hitter. You start squeezing the bat a little bit, trying to force it to happen.
Grounded and grabbed there by Sandoval. Fires to first. They get him. Scoring is Teixeira. It's an RBI ground out for Beltran, and it's 4-2 Yanks.
Tell you what, you look at Sandoval and his size and stuff, you wouldn't think, but he's a good third baseman. Good play there. Keeping that ball in the infield. It's how low he goes. Gets an out. That ball gets through. You're setting up the Yankees for a huge inning. That's a big out for the Red Sox.
There's Chase Headley. Runner at second. Infield backs up. And a strike.
You're talking about John Farrell keeping Owens in the game, and maybe the reason he did in their bullpen ERA 3.88, 22nd in the major leagues. Not a lot of confidence in the bullpen. I still would have made the move.
You know, it's hindsight now, but I mean, we were talking before it even happened. It's just a tough part of the order for him to go through third time around. So hot at the plate, and a lot of the times it's been in this position here with 2 strikes where he'll stay inside. You see, they're going over the scouting reports, what kind of breaking ball, what the velocity is on the fastball, what his out pitch is. Headley, Teixeira, guys getting a lot of at-bats right-handed lately with the lefties you saw in Chicago. A couple lefties tonight.
Right back to Ross. 2 away.
Well, it's the right approach. I mean, you get 2 strikes, you try to center it up a little bit, take it up the middle. Just so happened that he got jammed and hit it hard enough to get by the pitcher. Likes to show that lefty that inside pitch so we can get to that breaking ball. Pitch for Gregorius right here to inside out, line it right over the shortstop's head.
Just thinking to see if he makes a little bit of an adjustment. Left on left, has been swinging at some breaking balls out of the zone.
It's a good position right here for Joe Girardi. You know, two outs, 3-0. Sees a pitch out over the plate. You know, a single can score a guy from second. It's ball 4.
So Gregorius on base for the first time. And here comes Farrell. And that's going to do it for Ross with Brendan Ryan due up. So he's going to call on a right-hander to the Yankees counter with Stephen Drew. We will see. So Farrell not really enjoying his 53rd birthday up to this point. Brought to you in part by TriStateGMC.com, by People's United Bank NA, the way you bank, but way better, and by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2015 models. Red Sox go to their third pitcher inside the ballpark, Gene Machi, a burly right-hander. Yankees lead 4-2, runners on first and second with 2 outs. And Machi will face Brendan Ryan. '35th game.
Not much you can say about those numbers, huh, Michael?
53 base runners in 36 innings.
Too good, right?
Nope. So they leave Ryan in. They don't go to the lefty swinging Drew. And Ryan takes a breaking ball strike. Count 1-2. Ryan is flied out to left and grounded to second. McCann's at second. Gregorius is at first. Yankees lead 4-2 with a 3 spot in the bottom of the 6th inning and looking for more. Swing and a miss. So Machi gets Ryan. But the Yankees do take the lead. 3 runs, and it was hit after hit. Chris Young, Alex Rodriguez, Mark Teixeira tied the game. Then Brian McCann gave the lead, and now it's 4-2.
Tomorrow's starting pitchers brought to you by Verizon Fios, the fastest, most reliable internet. For the Red Sox, it'll be right-hander Stephen Wright on the mound, and the Yankees will send their top pitching prospect, highly anticipated start of 21-year-old Luis Severino. He has a big arm, solid slider, and changeup. But what impressed Joe Girardi most during this spring is he is a guy that has no fear on the mound. He'll attack hitters, and it doesn't seem as though much phases him when he is on the mound. The Yankees don't believe the transition is going to be a problem for Severino. But, guys, you have to imagine maybe some nerves early, especially considering it will be his major league debut.
Well, it is widely anticipated throughout baseball because there's been so much buzz about Severino. And no matter how calm and collected a guy might be, if you're not a little bit nervous at 21 years old, making a major league debut at Yankee Stadium, I mean, that might be a little bit abnormal. I'm sure he's going to have some butterflies.
I mean, you get butterflies when you've been in the big leagues 3 or 4 years. I mean, it's the excitement and kind of the unknown, what's going to happen. I mean, that's what kind of drives you day in and day out anyway.
It's how you channel all of that. Does it get out of control? Does the moment get too big? Or are you able to channel it and focus it and use it to your advantage? And everything we've heard about Severino, people don't expect it to be a problem.
Looking forward to it. We'll have it here on Yes.
You know, I was just looking at the numbers, and, you know, you look at Owens, and he's a high-touted prospect for the Red Sox. You look at his numbers. I mean, he had a 3.8 ERA, and he was like 3.8 in AAA. You know, Severino was 7-0 with a 1.9. So obviously, I mean, he's just burying hitters down there.
The 0-2. Tanaka deals the 1-2. Popped up. McCann gives it a look. Arm's not long enough.
Tell me something, Flash. You know, as an outfielder, as soon as the ball's hit, fly ball, you know whether you got a chance or not. As a catcher, when it's popped up, I mean, when you're flipping that mask off, do you know you got a chance, or clueless where it is.
No, some you know you have no chance. Other ones you're like, I better get to the screen because this might come back. All those pop-ups have backspin, and your fear is they're going to come back to the field to play.
In the old days, you would take infield, and the hardest thing for the coach hitting the fungos was to hit the fly ball to the catcher. The center fielder might get a couple extra ones, a couple misses, and then finally he'd hit one up, and that was the end of infield.
That one is driven deep to right field. There it goes, a long home run for Pablo Sandoval, and it's 4-3 Yankees.
It's only his 9th home run of the year, and Sandoval obviously a postseason hero in San Francisco for years. But you'd have to say this year has been a disappointment. Power numbers are down. I think the Red Sox thought they would increase. And with that swing of the bat, Joe Girardi's going to make a pitching change.
So 88 pitches in. Tanaka's night is over, and the Yankees will go to their bullpen, and they'll try to get 9 outs out of the pen as they lead this one 4-3, top of the 7th inning.
If I traded for, one of these big name starters coming in, they'd feel pressure too. So, just plug and play. We'll see what we get. I can't predict what we're going to see. I know we have, we're excited by his ability, excited what he's done, excited that he put himself in a position that we hoped he would.
And that's about Luis Severino, who will start tomorrow, but the Yankees have to put this one away first. A home run by Sandoval knocks Tanaka out of the game. Justin Wilson comes on, and he will face Mike Napoli, who was 2 for 2 against Tanaka. Pitch outside. Want to know, Justin Wilson can get out righties as well as he can get out lefties. That's why they have no problem bringing him in against Napoli. 48th game. $2-0 on Napoli. And Dellin Betances up. Jumped on a fastball, fouled it back.
See Napoli's strength with that fastball, and he'll look for certain pitches. Another guy that, offensively, has done some great things in the past 3 or 4 years, but this year just kind of has not got it going the way he's used to. 212, much better hitter than that.
Two and two. Yankees didn't have many stressful relief innings in Chicago. All 3 games were blowouts, 2 wins by the Yankees. So that back end got a little bit of a weekend break. As Napoli swings and misses.
Tanaka just a spectator now with that bullpen. 6+, 5 hits, 3 runs. Strikeout 3 with 88 pitches.
And pick up his 8th win of the year.
As players, you understand your own pitchers, and there are guys that are happy getting out of the games in the 6th inning. And to me, Tanaka is one of those guys that wants to go 7, 8, 9 innings. I mean, I think when he came over here, he was used to doing that regularly. So he's not a guy that takes the mound in the 1st inning and is already looking over to see if the bullpen's up. I think he wants to be that type of pitcher. Just don't know that the Yankees are going to allow him pitch count wise to be that kind of pitcher.
Well, Joe Girardi's going to play to his strengths and go to the bullpen a little bit earlier than most clubs.
Here's Castillo pinch hitting for De Aza.
The Yankees have so many options in their bullpen, though. You feel good about it because it's not the same guys every day.
Yeah.
You would like to have a starter or two who will give you length where you have a night off. But on the flip side of that, you're not just 2 or 3 guys you feel good about. There's about 5 or 6 out there.
Just saw Wilson at 97 in these power arms, and I was reading in the paper today on how many more ground balls there are this day and age than there was. And it had a lot to do with the power pitchers just down in the strike zone.
Wilson's well rested. Last time he pitched was July 30th at Texas, so he did not pitch at all over the weekend.
You can tell he just hit 98 with that fastball, and there's no doubt about what he's doing, rearing back and firing it.
Line drive, a base hit to left field, pinch hit single for Castillo. So 1 on, 1 out, and that'll bring up Swihart.
It's not easy to do right there. You sit around for 6 innings and then you turn around a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Swihart drove in the Red Sox first run with a single in the 5th inning, scoring Mike Napoli from 3rd. Tied the game at 1. Sac fly by Bradley Jr. made it 2-1. Those were in the 5th inning. The Yankees answered with 3 in the 6th to retake the lead. Sandoval knocks out Tanaka with a home run this inning to lead off, and now it's 4-3 Yankees top of the 7th. Owens 2 on Swihart.
Fastball's supposed to be in. It ends up down and away. Swihart hasn't been happy with the strike zone all night.
A lot of plate there.
With his numbers complete today, Tanaka has now given up 28 earned runs and 12 home runs over his last 8 starts. That's over 50 1/3 innings, but he still has an opportunity to pick up the win tonight.
Well, he was so sharp first 3 innings. You just thought he was going to cruise through this game.
Castillo leads off first, 1 out. We're in the 7th, 4-3 Yanks. Wilson deals. Line foul.
That is, Flash. The guy's, just dealing 3 innings, 4 innings. All of a sudden, consistently, you have an inning where you just kind of lose it. Just lack of concentration. You lose your release point a bit.
I think you can look at this one and say in the 5th inning, all of a sudden some runners got on base, and you're like, oh, okay, I haven't had to deal with this. Now I got to pitch out of the stretch. I got to pitch in a 1-run game that felt like it was 4-0 at that point.
2-2. Popped up. Teixeira makes the play for the 2nd out. And that'll bring up Jackie Bradley Jr. Jackie's 0 for 1, fly ball to center and a sac fly to left.
Girardi's sticking with Wilson, getting that big out there, not going to Betances. Now he's got a good matchup. Wilson lefty on lefty. Hopefully get through this inning, and then you can use Betances just for 1.
And you might have heard Gary Tuck say, you've got Holt.
You got Holt.
So if he doesn't get Bradley, they bring in Betances for the on-deck batter, Brock Holt.
It's a situation where I think Wilson has to realize, this is the guy that I need to get. I'm facing a left-handed hitter. He's hitting 109. It's a guy who should be able to handle if I make good pitches.
The 0-1. Got a piece of McCann, 0-2.
You even mess around here and you just get your out.
I elevate 3 fastballs up in the zone and hope he swings through one of them. Like I mentioned earlier, I think his swing is a little bit longer. But that 96, 97, 98, if you elevate, it's got to be hard to put in play.
Castillo leads off first. 2 outs. 0-2 on Bradley. Castillo goes. Pitch gets through McCann. Castillo with a stolen base. And he is in scoring position.
Decided to go with the fastball, and it's down, and it scoots right underneath the glove of Brian McCann. I like the fastball elevated because it's a lot tougher with velocity to catch up. Ball down in the zone, you can drop your bat head and just put it in play.
He's going to go to Betances for 1 strike here, it looks like.
Wow. He doesn't want to take any chances. Once the tying run moved into scoring position, he brings in Betances to try to get Jackie Bradley Jr.'s 3rd strike. Stick around. Now, throws left-hand. He's facing a left-handed batter. He throws a pitch past McCann, a stolen base, moves the runner into scoring position with a tying run, and Joe decides to go to Betances, the righty, to get out the lefty Bradley.
You forgot he's ahead in the count 1-2.
Yep.
Betances gets the ball with those great numbers.
And he gets that one past McCann, who can't find it. Now he does locate it as Castillo moves to third on the wild pitch.
Well, the one thing you can say, Joe Girardi not afraid to make an interesting move, to say the least. Justin Wilson in the dugout watching. If it works out, I guess it's a good move. If it doesn't, then there are a lot of questions after the game.
Last time Betances pitched was in Texas. Didn't see any action in Chicago. July 30th in Texas. Tying run's now 90 feet away.
I don't know if you can throw a curveball again. Trust McCann to block it. We'll see.
That went in close.
Threw another one.
Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not, said Ray Burns. So now it's 3-2.
Good job by McCann, just keeping it in front. You know, there's a lot of pressure on him. Back-to-back curveballs. Love leads. The body follows. Good play.
And the pitch. So he comes in and he walks Bradley. And now he's going to face Brock Holt.
We told him on the phone you got Holt.
Yep.
I guess
he didn't tell him he was going to come in with first and third, but
pitched around him to get to Holt. His mind made up.
Boy, this is one of those moves that if it doesn't work, every question in the post game is going to be, why'd you do that with a 1-2 count? And Joe's going to have an answer. Joe obviously has a reason why he did it. Let's see how it plays out.
Bottom line is, and Paul talked about it, you had a hitter hitting just over 100. You had to get him out. Didn't get it done.
1-0.
With the finesse game.
Yeah, we got a lot of breaking balls coming out of his hand tonight, that's for sure.
Goes with the fastball, gets a strike. And a very nervous, nail-biting crowd lets out a cheer with that strike.
In a situation here, first and third, you have some speed on the bases.
One and two. That one's bounced up there and blocked by McCann. So a stolen base for Bradley. And McCann's getting a workout because it doesn't seem as if Betances has command of his breaking ball.
You have no idea how tough of a play this is. And Brian McCann, more mentally than anything else, you have to almost take it personally. There's no way you're going to get this ball by me. And it looks like maybe his knee locked up. Stevie Donahue going out there to check. Look at it, going to his right. Definitely it's the right leg.
Looks like he'll stay in the game. Now, feeling the way he's feeling, John, and knowing that that curveball's been bounced, do you call it again?
I don't know if I can trust Betances to throw it over the plate. That's a problem. You blocked, what, 3?
Now, if you're Brock Holt, are you sitting fastball here?
You haven't seen one. You don't know what you're sitting. And you have not seen Betances' fastball here.
just before that last one. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runners on second and third. Pitch. Swing and a miss, got him. McCann gets an angle, and it's a strikeout, put out 2-3, and everybody in the stadium can exhale. The Red Sox get a run on 1 hit and 2 men left at the end of 6.5. Get up and stretch. Yankees 4, Red Sox 3, but we'll stay right here to honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise?
(4-3), Yankees over the Red Sox. John, I said when they strike out that, you know, the Yankee crowd can exhale. I think that Joe Girardi could exhale as well, because that was a very, very debatable move, and it ends up working out.
Well, like I said, you make a move like that, you got to be ready if it doesn't work out, but it did. I just wonder what Justin Wilson's thinking. You know, you're heading to count 1-2 on a lefty, and all of a sudden you're taken out of the game for a guy who's had a very good year in his own in Wilson.
Jacoby Ellsbury takes a strike as we go to the bottom of the 7th. It's 4-3 Yankees. First game of this 3-game set against the Red Sox, and The first game of a 6-game homestand. The final 3 against the Toronto Blue Jays. Speaking of Toronto, Blue Jays lead 3-1 top of the 9th inning at Rogers Center. Tampa Bay 3-1 over Chicago White Sox top of the 6th. And the Orioles and the A's will start in about 25 minutes in Oakland. Two and two. Castillo takes over in right. Pounded on one hop to short. Bogarts. And he makes a bad throw, and that really can't scoop it.
This is where you appreciate Mark Teixeira, because he makes it look so easy day in and day out. If you're an infielder, you throw a ball low, he picks it. Bogarts takes his time. Happily just reach out and catch it.
That's not a tough play on either end. Didn't have to rush to throw, didn't have to do anything. And you're right, you see the glove way back.
Well, why not just reach out?
And that scored an E6 on Bogarts. So here's Chris Young. There's a lefty up in the bullpen, that's Breslow. And maybe that's the dog in the yard that's stopping Girardi from going to Gardner here. As Young faces a right-hander. Shows bunt, takes high.
Chris Young, I mean, the more he gets hits against lefties, the more opportunities he's going to get late in the game to stay in, just to continue to get at bats. He's so valuable to this team early in the year. I mean, he carried the offense for a couple weeks early, and then left-handers all year in his bread and butter.
Tight game to start this series. As the guys mentioned earlier, the Red Sox could be in last place, but they are going to raise the level of their game playing against the Yankees in front of a very big crowd at the stadium. Two and one.
And that quick pitch, all of a sudden, boom, 93 right off the corner, got the call. Michael, is Ellsbury, since he's been back from the injury, really hasn't gotten back to stealing bases like he was early in the year.
Machi playing catch with Napoli. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
Split finger, nasty movement down, away from him.
Jumps at you, too. It is. And it kind of looks like he turns it over a little bit. You see that sideways spin on it. Really slowed down. First 6 innings, really quick pace. All of a sudden, a couple innings here where the game is really slowed down. Pitching changes, long at bats.
Runner goes. It gets away from Swihart, and Ellsbury thought about going to third, but he stays right there. So a walk for Young, and we'll check in with Bob Orangs. also a final, Bob. Now Toronto is final against Minnesota. The Blue Jays win 3-1. That's the second straight bad start for Sale. He got roughed up by the Red Sox on Thursday, and now getting roughed up here today against Tampa Bay. Here's A-Rod. Doubled off the wall in left center in the 6th.
They were in Chicago, and they had come off that great road trip where they've kind of battled their way back into the wild card, and they stood their ground, didn't get rid of anybody. You just wonder if some of those names, if they play their way out of it in the next week or so, all of a sudden try to clear some waivers for some trades.
Yeah, that's one of those runs that it might hurt the team. Because before they won 7 in a row, they were considered sellers, and then they got within 3.5 of the second wild card, and they said, well, we'll hang around. 1-1. Rounded up the middle and through for a base hit. Ellsbury will score. Ball bubbled by Bradley. Heading back is Young to second. The throw is not handled cleanly by Sandoval, so it's an RBI single for A-Rod, and it's 5-3 Yanks.
Ball gets up the middle. Chris Young, I mean, he saw the bobble in center field, but then he got very lucky to be able to come back. A-Rod, boom, gets it through the infield. Big run for the Yankees. Right there. He's out at second, and Sandoval can't come up with it. Flash, we got some weird stuff going on here the last couple innings. You know that?
So Alex picks up
Step
RBI
aside, all right?
number 62. Still nobody out. First and second as the Red Sox go to the bullpen. In the bullpen comes on with Mark Teixeira due up. They spin him around to the biggest part of the ballpark. That's another big hit for A-Rod as he gives the Yankees a little bit of a bulge with more outs to come out of the bullpen. And here's Mark Teixeira. He's 2 for 3. Another big night for him with 2 ribbies.
Here in the 7th inning, you kind of see why the Red Sox are having a tough year. Routine ground ball to shortstop. It's an error. Walk, base hit. You mentioned Sandoval had to play to get Young at second. Couldn't get that done.
That's how you lose games. A lot of.
So they're not pitching well this year. They're not really scoring like they thought. The fielding percentage is 10th in the American League. And here we are, 5-3 ball game.
Sounds like a bad test score.
Sky-high pop-up. Foul territory. Swihart can't get there. Not only did it hit off the railing, but it scattered a bird.
Paul, this is the play you were talking about earlier for catchers. You get to the railing and then you try to figure out which way the ball is going to be moving. Not only coming back towards the field, but going up the third base line. Just another opportunity for a hitter, Mark Teixeira, who you thought maybe you'd get him out on a pop out, didn't work out. He's got another swing of the bat or two.
Three Yankees, first and second, nobody out. One and two.
I remember thinking back to spring training and Mark Teixeira, and you say, you know what, the batting average might not ever be there again, but he hoped that he had power and could drive in runs. Now he's up to 270. Very respectable 270.
And I mean, his run production and his offense have been unbelievable, but what he does defensively, I mean, just what he has meant for this team day in and day out.
Did he go? Yes, he did. So Teixeira down on strikes.
See what Breslow likes to do, and that's to have hitters swing at pitches out of the strike zone. That's actually what Mark Teixeira did in this at bat.
It's the thing we're seeing more high strikes called.
I was just going to say, that's a strike.
Brian McCann looked back. Mike Everett, the ball's got to be up. It's more high and low now instead of in or out.
Shoulder high.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a hanging breaking ball that really never came down. As a hitter, you're like, you know, I saw that ball high. That ball's high. Put some good at bats early. Hammered that ball to left center field and came up with a big hit. Another guy, I mean, if you look at the balance of their lineup now, because McCann stays in on lefties, you know, you got Teixeira before him, who's a switch hitter. You've got Beltran after him, switcher. You've got so much balance in this lineup. So when you go to the pen, it's very hard to pitch when this team's swinging the bat well.
McCann kind of flying under the radar with his 17 home runs, 62 RBIs, batting average over 250.
Driven deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. Into the second deck. A 3-run home run. Yankees 8, Red Sox 3.
Tell you what, when you stay in there and you get hanging breaking balls, I was just going to say, you know, his numbers are skewed because he is tremendous at home. Jason Morgan likes it.
Watching him jog around the bases, I'm not sure that leg is 100% that he came out a few last inning blocking the ball. Looked like he tweaked something. Wasn't tweaked there, out over the plate. You can start your jog pretty early.
I'm going to see a reaction from a pitcher. Breslow saw that or heard the sound of that bat. He knew where it was heading. Watch his reaction. Oh, it's a good sound, isn't it? Well, that's just a night where, you know, he's beat up behind the plate. You can even tell after he took off to run, there's something's hurting in his leg. But he's caught a great game. He's blocked balls. I mean, it's just, you got to have a lot of respect. I used to look at Jorge Posada after games sometimes, just all bruised up, beat up. Catching takes a toll on the body throughout the year. Didn't know anything about that, did you, Flash?
No, not at all. That's why I was watching the way he was getting around the bases. You knew something's still going on, but rub a little dirt on it and let's go.
Feels better when you got a 5-run lead.
And you hit your 18th home run.
The Yankee offense was kind of shut down after the first inning, through the 5th inning, then all of a sudden, boom, comes up huge again.
Fly ball in the right center field. It's going to split the outfielders and go up against the wall. Beltran at second with a double. Now with the home run by McCann, the Yankees have now scored 8 runs. So when they score 6, you can log on to papajohns.com tomorrow for 50% off your online regular menu price order. Use promo code Yankee6 at papajohns.com.
Carl Willis, ex-Yankee. Tell you one thing, this conversation is going to have a southern drawl to it with Carl Willis running to the mound. You know that? Carl was, I think, from North Carolina. Is that where he's from?
Longtime Indians pitching coach.
What a feeling it must be for these guys. We're either going to get you early, middle, or we're going to get you late. Tonight it happened to be late. 3 runs in the 6th, 4 already here in the 7th.
I would imagine that you could even take Betances out if you want. Might want to just let him get a couple more pitches in. I don't know. He didn't look real sharp, obviously, bouncing a lot of those curveballs. He's had 4 or 5 days off. Really let him get an inning. I don't know. Or you can choose to save him another day.
Two and one. Line drive, base hit into the corner. Beltran scores. Headley motoring to second with an RBI double. 9-3 Yanks.
Mentioned in the bullpen for the Red Sox, not a real strength of their ball club, and the Yankees have taken advantage here in the 7th inning. Headley continues his hot hitting, had a great road trip. Up and in, just gets his hands inside and hammers it down the left field line. Another double, another RBI.
And with his 2 hits, he has extended his hitting streak to 12 straight. Didi with a high fly ball right. Castillo makes the play as Headley will head back.
Talk about pitches you just missed, and sometimes you foul them straight back. That ball was just missed. Everything's right, you just don't catch it square on the bat. That head was out in the right spot. You see the reaction. I just missed it. One of the better swings he's had tonight, though.
Ninth batter to come to the plate, Brendan Ryan with a runner on second and 2 outs.
I just got a note here. There's 3 teams in the major leagues with 3 players with 18+ home runs. Yankees, the Blue Jays, so they'll be hooking up this weekend to see for a little power ball. And the Cincinnati Reds, Todd Frazier, Votto, and Bruce. The Yankees, you got Teixeira, A-Rod, and McCann. The Blue Jays, Donaldson, Bautista, Encarnacion. Here, Donaldson from the Blue Jays just came out of nowhere. Huh?
He's had some good years in Oakland. He's just kind of adding on to it now, that next level. Pretty good lineup to hit him.
You know, it's funny because I was talking to David Ortiz during batting practice a little bit, and he said that, you know, Yankee Stadium's a great ballpark for him. And he said that the part that has changed over the years, he said he cannot believe Toronto. It's just like it's a new ballpark. He said the ball flies out of there now. And I remember in the past, I didn't think it was a great hitting ballpark. A lot of people did. I didn't think it was a great play. He said it's unbelievable now the way the ball carries out of that ballpark. And I don't know what has changed.
Yeah,
but it just seems to play smaller.
Breslow deals the 3-2. And a walk to Brendan Ryan. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. It all started with an error by Xander Bogaerts. A ball that could have been scooped out of dirt, maybe even caught on the fly by Mike Napoli, and it opened up the floodgates for the Yankees, and they put up 5 and looking for more. And here's Ellsbury who hit that ground ball. Drive, base hit to left field. Headley rounds third. They're waving him home. He'll score. Moving to third is Ryan. It's an RBI single for Ellsbury, and the Yankees are pouring it on. It's 10-3.
I'll tell you what, you're right, Michael. I mean, these are just good at bat after good at bat, and here comes John Farrell. Let's go to another pitching change. Head to the bullpen, Michael.
It has been a lot of walks on his 53rd birthday. It has not been a happy one. Red Sox trail 10-3.
series featuring all new interviews and eyewitness accounts. Relive all the drama on a new Yankeeography Moments of Glory Thursday at 11 after Yankees Red Sox coverage only on Yes. Fifth pitcher used by the Red Sox, it's Alexi Ogando. Has not had a bad season. This will be his 44th game. Now, Yankees had that sloppy defensive inning, but the Red Sox have really, really struggled in this one. The E6 to start it off, the inability to get Chris Young when he made too wide a turn around second. So a lot of outs left out there that could have shortened this inning. Here's Chris Young against Ogando. That one is drilled to left field. There it goes. See ya. Another 3-run home run. This one by Young. It's 13-3 Yanks.
Flash, you take this one. I had the last couple.
Chris Young's supposed to be one of those guys who beats up on the lefties. Left-handers in the dugout. Craig Breslow. Ogando comes in, a right-hander, and first pitch, he does not waste any time. Fastball up, gets right on top of it. The only question, a line drive, would it find the seats? And it did.
Here's Alex.
Listen, gone. What, and this has not been like, wow, finally the Yankees broke out. I mean, they have had some games. I mean, when they threw up 21 in Texas, they threw up a boatload in Chicago. Their offense is just run. Look at that 9-run inning.
What's that saying? You can't give good teams an extra out, a routine ground ball to start this inning. 9 runs later, and we're not done.
The 2-0. 3-0. Alex, another good night. He's 2 for 3 with a walk. Had a big RBI single earlier in this inning that really loomed large because it gave the Yankees a bigger advantage for the bullpen. What type of year has it been for the Yankees offensively? This is their 7th game with 13 or more runs. The team with the second most, there are 7 teams tied with just 3 games.
Wow.
That's been a pretty lucky number for the Yankees. 13 runs on 13 hits.
That's a lot of production. 13 hits, 13 runs.
That one gets past Swihart, but not far enough. Can you even fathom the offensive possibilities of this upcoming weekend?
Oh, I mean, both teams, we just went over it. I mean, home runs, 3 guys in each team, 18 plus. Toronto's picked up another guy that Tulowitzki's able to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
And they're both feeling good about themselves, right?
Yeah.
Throwing some runs out there lately.
Yeah, I was saying, you know, when you make a trade, you bring in a couple big name guys, sometimes it takes a while for it to all gel. It's a perfect situation for Toronto where they brought those guys in and all of a sudden they're playing well as a team. Price, which he threw yesterday, so they'll get him on the weekend, right? Yeah. So, you know, a good series to come out and see how these teams match up now. They're not the same teams, obviously. You know, with that much time and that much lead, Betances got to be finished, right?
Yeah, he's got to be done. Pinder's standing on that bullpen mound ready to go. I would think Dellen's night is over. But you know what? Joe Girardi's made some interesting pitching moves tonight, so.
top of the 7th inning started at 9:13 p.m. We're still in the 7th, bottom of the 7th. It's 10:12 p.m.
I didn't notice, Michael.
Swing and a miss. The inning finally over. 9 runs for the Yankees as they tear this one apart. Couple of big blows, a 3-run blast by Brian McCann. And then Chris Young goes the line drive route. Another 3-run home run. Wow. New York baseball great Darryl Strawberry and boxing icon Amanda Holyfield makes dreams come true for youth in Yonkers. That's tonight after the postgame, only on Yes. Last 7 games for the Yankees, 21 runs scored, 2, 6, 13, 2, 12, and 13 tonight. Brendan Pinder is the new Yankee pitcher, and he will deal to Xander Bogaerts. It has been that sort of season for the Red Sox. Their offense has not been what people expected. Hyundai scoreboard shows 13-3, and their pitching has really been spotty.
You know what, you're having a bad year and you come into Yankee Stadium thinking, well, at least there'll be 3 games, be some electricity. Those thoughts are out the window right now. Down 13-3.
Grounded to second. Nice hop there for Ryan. Remember, tomorrow we get a chance to see highly touted rookie Luis Severino, 21 years old, making his major league debut. A lot of the eyes of baseball will be on Yankee Stadium to see exactly what this kid's about. And we've heard only good things. We saw a real maturity about him in spring training and dominated AAA after starting the season in AA. And really what he's done in AAA is domination. There's a ground ball to short right field. Ryan's there. He'll get Ortiz for the second out. That'll be another 7:07 start from here at the stadium. Severino against the Red Sox.
Well, now that you've kind of wrapped this one up, you can really start thinking about tomorrow. And, you know, the beginning of a career that might be a great one. We'll just have to wait and see. With Severino, there will be some excitement here tomorrow to see his first start in the Bronx. I'm looking forward to it, Michael, ever since they announced it in Chicago.
I can't wait. It seems like highly touted pitchers get everybody's attention.
Yeah.
What are they about? We'll see. We'll get our first look. Here's Hanley Ramirez. Certainly taking his time to get into the box. And Pinder, 97 miles an hour with the strike.
Fun to be able to throw that hard, wouldn't it? Especially in games like this where you could just rear back and challenge people.
I watch Pinder pitch, and his numbers are good, and his stuff's good, and he's kind of been on that shuttle back and forth. But it's almost like, well, what about me? You know, I got the stuff to do this too.
Talking the other day, I mean, if you're on that shuttle, when you come up, you're pitching. You're not just sitting out there. You are pitching.
Foul back.
Ramirez screaming in disgust. You get a hanging slider from a guy who just threw 97 by you. You just miss it. And I'm telling you, Hanley Ramirez is a talented hitter. Just not quite getting it done the way he is in the past at this point.
Just a bit high.
I look in that Red Sox dugout at some of the hitters coming up to the plate, and right now it's you're playing for #1, which is a bad feeling when you're on a last place team, 13-3 game. Now it's like I'm just trying to get my hits and salvage my season. It's a bad way to go through the last couple of months.
You know, it makes playing the game not fun. I mean, you just
chop to Headley. The throw across the diamond, and Pinder comes on to work a 1-2-3 inning as the Red Sox go down in order. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's all Yankees, 13-3 over Boston. Prospect Luis Severino set to make his major league debut. Complete pregame coverage starts at 6 with Audi batting practice today. Then we're back with first pitch of this must-watch game shortly after 7, right here on Yes. Brian McCann will lead off against Alexi Ogando. Ogando's last 10 appearances. You see the Hyundai scoreboard, 13-3 Yanks. 10 in the third innings for Ogando, 6 home runs.
Just looking at Brian McCann up there, that's a good sign he's still in this game. A 10-run lead. If there was anything wrong after he blocked that ball and Stevie Donahue came out to check him, he would be in that clubhouse with some ice on it. So I'm sure everything's fine. Maybe he heard those numbers Michael was throwing out there and says, I'll take one more crack at it.
How about last inning as an outlier for Mark Teixeira's having an unbelievable year, an MVP type year. He struck out twice while the Yankees scored 9 runs.
Wow.
Grounded to Holt. And he will get McCann for the first out.
If you're managing this team, what do you do? I mean,
the Red Sox?
You've got talent, somewhat, and you're having that type of year. Is there any way to convince this team, hey, you know what, we can put a run together, possibly like the White Sox did, and get back into this wild card thing, or you just show up and say, hey, play, and we'll see you next year?
No, I think it's past that point now. I think John Farrell is probably saying, I'm going to try to get a look at as many young players as I can, but I also want to keep my veteran players that I know who are going to be here in the future happy with their at-bats coming down the stretch. But, you know, we talk about it all the time. Once it starts snowballing in the wrong direction, it's hard to get everybody back on the same page. And when you miss a guy like that, Dustin Pedroia kind of sets the tone for you every day. It's a huge loss.
Wave by Beltran. Count 2-1.
Brutal honesty as you're playing for next year as an organization and as a player to make an impression, and hopefully you'll be around next year.
2-2. Yankees have scored 90 runs in their last 10 games. Popped up, shallow left. Sandoval makes the play.
Even the plays they make don't look comfortable, you know. You know what? I hate to say things about teams when they're getting beat 13-3, but you know, to me, to see guys laughing on plays like that when it's 13-3, I think it would catch my attention.
Headley grounds it foul. Yankees 1 through 4 hitters tonight. 8 for 17, 9 runs scored, 7 ribbies. Grounded to first. Napoli steps on the bag, and the Yankees are retired in order. 1, 2, 3. We go to the 9th inning. It's the New York Yankees 13 and the Boston Red Sox 3.
Mason postgame show. Immediately following the game, I'll talk to some of the offensive heroes in the clubhouse. Also, you'll hear from manager Joe Girardi and tonight's starting pitcher Masahiro Tanaka and Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry are in the studio waiting to break everything down for tonight and take you around the league. That's all coming up on the WB Mason postgame show.
Well, thank you, Meredith. We'll be looking forward to that as the Yankees lead 13-3, top of the 9th inning. And there's the WB Mason man. New pitcher for the Yankees is Nick Rumbelow. And he deals to Sandoval high. New catcher is John Ryan Murphy. The 1-0. The announced crowd, 48,522. It's the 8th sellout of the year at the stadium.
Not a bad night for a Tuesday night.
No, not at all. Especially with all the traffic problems that happened in that terrible accident on the Jersey Turnpike. And you were wondering if people would be able to get here, and they did.
And good traffic today, man. Only got to hear your show for about a half an hour.
So you zoomed in, huh?
Zoomed right in. Never can figure it out.
Ground ball to Brendan Ryan. And Brian McCann has taken over at first base. Mike Napoli had 2 doubles against Tanaka. Tanaka's going to pick up the win tonight. Go 8-4. He went 6+. And his home run that he served up to Sandoval in the 7th knocked him out of the game. Yankees brought in Justin Wilson. And then Dellin Betances came on with a 1-2 count and ended up getting the final out of the 7th. And Henry Owens is going to get a loss in his first big league start. Top of the now the bottom of the 2nd inning in Oakland. Orioles and the A's, 0-0.
I think you're going to find out in the next 10 days or so if Baltimore is going to be one of those players in the East. 10 days out on the West Coast, that can kind of make or break you in mid-August.
Fly ball, left center. Young will make the play. Red Sox down to their final out. Tampa Bay 10, the White Sox 2, top of the 8th inning. And Toronto has beaten Minnesota 3-1 in Toronto. Yankees poised to take the first game of this 3-game set against the Boston Red Sox. Yankees did add a pitcher today, Caleb Cotham, and they brought him up when they disabled Dustin Hackett.
Gonna make a move tomorrow too. Right?
That's right. He could have a short stay. So Tanaka started, Wilson, Betances, Pinder, and now Rumbelow trying to get the final out. 13-0 Yanks, 3-6-1 Red Sox. Rumbelow winds, kicks, and deals the 1-2. Dribbled slowly at the third baseline, and it is a base hit. They let it roll, and it hit the bag. So Castillo picks up his second hit of the night.
That's all you can do as a third baseman. You have no play. Just watch this thing and hope it hits a rock or something and rolls foul.
You hope it hits that cut out of the grass. Looks like it came back to the field to play there at the end.
It's that left edge putt there, Flash. Kind of breaks away.
Something that sounds so simple, but some of these young kids coming out of the bullpen in a blowout game. Pinder throwing strikes, Rumbelow throwing strikes. Pitching coach and manager are paying attention. They want to be able to trust you that when you come out of the pen, you can pound the strike zone.
Well, I agree with Pinder. Just looking at his stuff.
No, he's ready to take the next step. You can see it.
And the Red Sox down to their final strike. 1-2 on Swihart. Over the last 7 games, the Yankees are averaging 9.9 runs, a .323 batting average, and 13 homers. Count 3-2.
Tell you what, early in the year, you know, there were times where you look at that lineup and wonder, how are these guys going to score runs? And it's just, I mean, they have just exploded.
Fly ball, deep center, backing up Ellsbury. He makes the play, and the Yankees win 13-3. Tanaka picks up the win. A 9-run 7th inning for the Yankees. Big blow, a 3-run shot by Brian McCann into the second deck in right. Chris Young with a 3-run liner into the seats in left. And the Yankees flex their muscle on this Tuesday in New York and beat the Red Sox 13-3. The Red Sox have now lost 8 straight games on the road. So all good for the Yankees as they start this homestand with a 13-3 victory. What we'll do right now is we'll give Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry a chance to set the table for the remainder of the night. They're coming up right now.